Welcome, everyone, to our deep dive, crafted just for you, the learner.
Great to be here.
Today, we're diving headfirst into a pretty comprehensive timeline. We're looking at the first 76 episodes of Ertug's Season 1.
Yeah, a huge chunk of the story. And this
Yeah.
is all based on the really detailed work over at Ali's blog.
Exactly. Think of this as your cheat sheet, your essential guide. We'll cover the big plot points, character intros, all drama.
Right. The mission is basically to pull out the key stuff, give you a clear picture without getting totally bogged down in every single minor detail.
Definitely. So get ready for, well, heroic rescues, betrayals, lots of betrayals, and the Kai tribe just trying to survive those early days.
Absolutely. And it's amazing how much ground these episodes cover. You see the
Yeah.
seeds planted for everything that comes later.
Totally. We'll hit those key moments, introduce huge cast of characters.
It is sprawling, isn't it?
Right. And trace how those main conflicts really develop. Hopefully there'll be some of those aha moments along the way.
That's the goal. Let's unpack this epic beginning.
Let's do it. So, episode 1. The blog kicks it off right away with Ertugrul rescuing Halim and her family.
From Crusaders, no less. A very dramatic start.
Yeah, talk about an intro to his character. And the Crusaders, of course, major players in that whole historical period.
Mm-hmm. And it's right here, episode 1, Deli Demir gives Ertugrul his sword.
Oh, yeah, that's huge. Such a powerful symbol throughout the whole series.
And the characters they throw at us, right away.
It's a lot. Deli Demir, Ertugrul himself, Gundodu, Selchan, Halim, Goche, briefly.
Don, Bamzi, Turgut, Suleiman Shah, Ashin Bey.
Titus, Ustad Uzam, Ikes, even young Yeet.
Wow, that's a full roster from minute 1.
It really is. It signals the complexity, right? The Kai tribe, Suleiman Shah leading them, the whole political mess.
Exactly. And that first rescue, it ties Ertugrul directly to Halim and her family. That drives so much of the early plot.
No kidding. Okay, episode 2, things ramp up fast.
Yeah, Karatoiger shows up.
Right, at a Kai meeting, demanding they hand over Halima and her family, an immediate external threat.
Put Suleiman Shah in a tough spot right away.
And there's this subtle bit the blog points out. Turgut tries to get his axe back, fails. And it kind of hints the Kai were involved in the rescue.
Oh, that's a good detail. Little things like that.
Meanwhile, Titus finds out his brother Baisal is dead. Vows revenge.
But he has no idea it was Ertugrul.
Exactly. Sets up that personal vendetta that fuels Titus for, ages.
That layering of conflict is so well done. Karatoigar's demands, Titus's personal mission.
Okay, episode 3. Suleiman Shah gives Ertugrul a big job.
Right. Check out Aleppo as a potential new home for the tribe.
Aleppo, major city, strategically important back then.
Yeah.
And this immediately makes Gundodu jealous, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. You see that rivalry start right there? He thinks he should have gotten the mission.
So Ertugrul leaves, entrusts Halim's family to Deli Demir.
And we get that really sweet blessing from Halime to Ertugrul.
Yeah, very touching. But the blog notes she's also secretly planning to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Adds a bit of mystery.
Mm-hmm. And then the huge moment Ertugrul meets Ibn Arabi.
Ah, yes. The spiritual guide. His wisdom becomes so important for Ertugrul.
Absolutely key. He's like Ertugrul's moral compass throughout so much of the series. That encounter is pivotal.
No doubt. Then comes trouble in episode 4.
Ambush time.
Karatoigar and Titus team up, plot against Ertugrul.
Leads to that night attack. Ertugrul gets away, but...
Turgut gets hit, badly. Arrow wound.
Yeah, raises the stakes for Ertugrul and his closest guys, Doan and Bamzi.
At the same time, Halima and her family try to escape.
But Kurgalu betrays them. Lets the attackers in.
Yeah, the blog flags him early as a problem.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Akshin Bey and Deli Demir rescue them.
Always there when needed, those two.
And Halim, trying to protect them, tells Haim they're from the Kinnick tribe.
Another layer of deception, protecting her identity.
Then that weird dinner scene. Titus and Ibn Arabi eating with Ertugrul while Turgut's laid up.
Huh? Yeah, that's a strange mix, isn't it? Enemies and allies all kind of thrown together. Shows the complexity.
Definitely. Episode 5 shifts back to Aleppo.
Ertugrul trying to convince El Aziz, the ruler there.
Yeah, let the Kai settle. But then, bam, their weapons are gone. Confiscated.
By El Aziz. Seems like a test, right? Testing Ertugrul's influence, his trustworthiness.
Looks like it. And then later, Titus tries to kill Ertugrul in his sleep.
But that mysterious voice warns him. Wake up, son.
Chilling. Adds that, destined for greatness element. Suggests he's protected somehow.
Yeah, that motif comes up a bit. It adds another dimension to his whole journey.
Okay, skipping ahead slightly to episode 7. Ertugrul returns from Aleppo.
With good news. Looks like the move might actually happen, a moment of hope.
But it doesn't last long, does it?
Nope. News hits that Gundodu's been captured.
By Ertug. Just when things looked up, boom, another crisis.
Classic Ertug storytelling, that constant back and forth, helps you hooked.
And meanwhile, Eleonora starts doubting how her father died. Titus is planting seeds of suspicion.
Right, another subplot brewing. Secrets and lies from the past.
Okay, episode 8. Things get really serious.
Newman's identity revealed.
Exactly. After Hamza reports Gundodu's capture and Ertug's demands, Shahzada Newman reveals who he really is.
A Shahzada, a prince, making Halim's family royalty. Big implications.
Huge. Connects him right to the Seljuk dynasty. Raises the stakes immensely.
And Ertugrul immediately pushes his father, Suleiman Shah, to negotiate for Gundodu. Shows his loyalty.
Always looking out for his brother, even with their rivalry. Episode 9 is all about the plan.
Ertugrul's plan to free Gundodu. He's the strategist.
Yep. But then Suleiman Shah goes to Ertug to negotiate.
And appoints Kurdalu as acting bey while he's gone.
Knowing Kurdalu's treacherous, the blog highlights that. It's a risky move.
Very risky. Appointing your known internal threat while dealing with an external one shows the pressure Suleiman Shah is under.
Ertug agrees to the terms, sets up this really tense negotiation.
Suleiman Shah playing a very dangerous game there.
Okay, episode 10. Success and danger side by side.
Ertugrul's plan works.
With help from Ashin Bey, right? Seems like he has contacts everywhere.
Looks like it. Gundodu is freed, and they actually capture Ertug. Big win.
But back at the camp, chaos. A riot near Halimi's tent while Suleiman Shah is away.
Until Haim steps in. Mother Haim, always the strong one.
She diffuses it, protects Halimi. But you see Selchan's resentment towards Halima just growing.
Yeah, that just keeps simmering. And Kurdolu...
He grabs leadership symbols, takes them to his tent.
Making his move, showing everyone his ambition. Clear as day.
Chilling. All right, jumping to episode 12. Suleiman Shah gets really sick.
His boil flares up badly, right after assigning Gundodu to go back to Aleppo.
But Gundodu passes the mission to Ertugrul.
And Ertugrul decides to take Halim and her family with him for safety.
Thinks they'll be safer away from Seljuk lands. Meanwhile, Kurulu finds out Newman is a Shahzada.
From Selchan, apparently, she overheard something.
And he tries to kidnap Newman.
But Gundodu stops him, thwarts that plan.
But then Ertug escapes. Titus busts out while he's being transported.
And Ertug kills Saribolu, the commander who caught him. Revenge. Just constant threats popping up.
Seriously. Okay, episode 14. The conspiracy deepens.
Selchan and Kurulu team up.
Yeah, Selchan, still bitter, thinking Suleiman Shah killed her father, plots with Kurulu to assassinate the bey while he's ill and unconscious.
She tricks Haime and Gundodu, leaving Suleiman Shah's tent unguarded.
So Kurulu, masked, sneaks in.
Tries to kill him, and the episode ends right there. Cliffhanger.
Brutal. It really shows how dangerous the internal enemies are.
Fueled by these personal vendettas, manipulations.
Yeah.
Intense.
Episode 15 is just a whirlwind. So much happens.
Right. Kurdolu's attempt fails.
Because Gundodu comes back early. Prompted by Selchan, ironically, her own double-cross plan backfires.
And Eleonora dies. Killed by Petruccio to keep a secret.
Tragic. Amidst all this, Ertugrul proposes to Halime. That passionate speech.
But she says no initially, torn by loyalty to her family.
And then bam, attack. Titus shoots an arrow at Ertugrul.
And Halime takes the hit, jumps in front of him.
Incredible bravery. Ertugrul in the Alps fight Titus's men off, get Halim and Newman away safely.
But Turgut and Yeet get captured. Devastating blow.
Just awful. And then, back at the tribe, we find out Selchan is pregnant.
But Kurdalu is already plotting against the unborn child. Just relentless darkness. What an episode.
Seriously packed. Okay, episode 16, the immediate aftermath.
Ertugrul, injured Halim, and Newman make it to Aleppo.
Vanzi and Doan are there, but they instantly notice Turgut's missing. Worry sets in.
While Titus takes Turgut and Yeet back to the Templar castle.
And gets an earful from Ustad Petruccio, right? Furious about the mission failure of the Lost Knights, blames Titus's obsession.
Yeah, you see the internal Templar dynamics there. Meanwhile, Ertugrul is already suspicious of Nasir in Aleppo.
Good instincts. And Petruccio keeps torturing Omar Giovanni for those relics.
The pressure is immense from all sides.
Episode 17. Things get darker for Ertugrul in Aleppo.
Yeah, the settlement agreement he worked so hard for.
Corn up. Ilaziz, influenced by Nasir, just rips it up, demands Ertugrul leave.
And Nasir and Ophelia frame Baten Atabey for treason. He gets locked up.
Another potential ally gone.
Yeah.
And Turgut, Just horrific torture in the castle.
Brutal. Then that mysterious guy shows up with Turgot's axe and Yeat's necklace.
Confirms they're captured, but he gets killed before saying more. So frustrating.
Tragedy upon tragedy. And back at the camp, Gerdalu is still scheming.
Manipulates Bebor's son into trying to kill the recovering Suleiman Shah.
But Gerdalu stops him, just to gain Bebor's trust. So calculated.
Vile. And the plague is getting worse in the tribe, too. Just suffering everywhere.
It's a really bleak period in the story.
Episode 18. Ertug shares the bad news.
Tells Don and Bamzi about Shahab-Ditin's arrest, Turgot and Yit's capture. Shared grief.
Layla, Belaziz's sister, is devastated about Shahab-Ditin. Gets sick from the stress.
And then there's that weird funny scene in El-Aziz's court. Bit random.
Yeah, odd timing. Ertug tells Halim about the captures. More worry for her.
And Turgot's torture continues. Cardinal Thomas starts trying to brainwash Yeat.
Ugh. Then Isadora arrives at the castle, learns about Eleonora. Petruccio manipulates her grief.
And Iftalia leads Ertugrul into a trap. Whose side is she on?
Right. So ambiguous. Episode 19, the trial.
Shahab-Ditin Atabey's trial. A total sham.
Rigged. False witnesses, bribe judge. Awful.
And Doan and Bamzi save Ertugrul from Iftalia's trap, but she escapes.
With help. And then she testifies against Shahab-Ditin at the trial, confirms her betrayal.
Terrible. Meanwhile, Helene's condition worsens. Needs palace treatment.
So Ertugrul's desperate. Seeks help for a rescue plan at that shop Afshin mentioned.
Shows the corruption in Aleppo, right?
Yeah.
Can't trust the system. Have to work outside it.
Totally. Episode 20, the rescue.
Daring move. Erder Dewan Bamzi busts Shahab-Ditin out right at his execution.
Incredible scene. But their identities are revealed now. Everyone knows.
El-Aziz and Nasir see the chaos. Nasir gets even more suspicious of Layla.
And Turgot, still being tortured on that wheel, hallucinating. But Giovanni Omer is there, encouraging him.
While Yeat gets freedom in the castle, part of the manipulation.
And Suleiman Shah arrives in Aleppo, finds out El-Aziz flipped. Gundodu heads there too? Things are converging.
A real turning point, but it escalates the conflict massively.
Okay, jumping to episode 23. Ertugrul gets himself captured.
Deliberately, as a strategy.
Yeah, lets himself get caught so Bamzi and Doan can snatch Iftalia from the palace while it's vulnerable.
Clever, but risky. And Deli Demir, Aikis, Goche sneak into Aleppo too.
Demir goes back, tells Suleiman Shah about Ertugrul. Shah sends Gundodu.
And Aikis finds out Turgot's been captured. Oh, devastating for her.
Brutal. Episode 24, torture and resilience.
Ertugrul gets tortured relentlessly for Shahab-Ditin's location.
But he won't break. Stay silent. Incredible strength.
Meanwhile, Turgot's mind is starting to break under his own torture. Akshin Bey and his ally are hiding, waiting to help.
Shahab-Ditin questions Iftalia. She still denies everything.
Nasir brags to Titus about catching Ertugrul, but won't hand him over yet, playing games.
El-Aziz finds out Iftalia was kidnapped. Bamzi, Doan, Shahab-Ditin hear about Ertugrul's torture. Bamzi almost loses it with Iftalia.
Then Atabey's allies rescue Ertugrul, but Nasir finds out they escaped.
Big fight during the escape. Bamzi, Doan, Shahab-Ditin fight alongside an ally who becomes a martyr.
So tragic. And Ertugrul confronts Nasir, but Nasir threatens Halima and Numan, Yeat, Turgot, uses them against him.
Horrible leverage. Just pure evil.
This whole sequence is just harrowing. It shows the depths of the conflict.
Episode 25, a secret reunion.
Layla helps Ertugrul see Halima, shows her loyalty.
Huge risk for her. Doan and Bamzi head back to the Kai camp.
And Suleiman Shah makes a massive call. The Kai will enter Aleppo even if Al-Aziz refuses.
Wow, raising the stakes even higher. Tensions must be sky high in the city.
Definitely. And Isadora makes that offer to Turgot about her father.
While Yeat steals a key for Akshin Bey. Little moves in a bigger game.
Then Suleiman Shah confronts Al-Aziz directly, demands Ertugrul's release, settlement rights.
With that powerful threat, refuse, and we might destroy Aleppo. Intense.
And Shahab-Ditin delivers Iftalia to the Kai. Now they have her.
Big power shifts happening. Okay, episode 26.
Al-Aziz finds out Ertugrul was hiding with Layla.
But Ertugrul uses Al-Aziz himself to escape. Reunites with Bamzi and Doan. So clever.
Meanwhile, Nasir suggests Al-Aziz marry Halime. Strategic move, he thinks.
And Al-Aziz actually asks Numan for Halime's hand. Oh, man.
Puts Numan and Halime in an impossible position.
Episode 27. More rescue attempts and revelations.
Afshin Bey tries to free Turgot again, but they're discovered. His ally dies.
But Afshin escapes. With Isadora's help, their connection deepens.
And Turgot learns Giovanni Omer is Isadora's father. That's a big piece of the puzzle.
Back at the camp, Ertugrul returns. He confronts the tribe about the lies Kurtulu's been spreading.
Exposes the deception, dares anyone to doubt him. Strong leadership.
And Turgut tells Yeet to let Isadora know about her father, passing information even while captive.
Resourceful kids, those two.
Okay, skipping to episode 29. The plan to expose Eftalia.
Using her tattoo, right. Ertugrul and Gundodu's plan.
But Kurtulu tips off Titus, always interfering.
Ustad Azim sends Marcus to kill Eftalia. Silence her for good.
But Ertugrul disguises himself as Eftalia, lures Marcus away.
While Gundodu, Hamza, Bamzi, Doan fight the other knights. A coordinated effort.
Ertugrul beats Marcus, keeps him alive, needs his testimony. Smart move.
Always thinking ahead, Ertugrul, using deception against the deceivers.
Episode 31, Finding the Castle.
Ertugrul sends Hamza to follow Marcus. Ikes goes too.
But Ustaz Azim realizes, kills Marcus before he talks.
But Ikes fires that arrow, causes panic, confirms the castle location. Brilliant.
They return with the info, but then Ertugrul gets devastating news.
Numan accepted Al-Aziz's proposal for Halime. Oh, Ertugrul must be crushed.
Yeah, absolutely gutted. And Afshin's friend confirms Turgut's torture. Afshin himself has disappeared.
Where did he go? What's he up to? More mystery.
And then Titus attacks Dindar, right in the Kai camp. Brings the fight home.
A clear escalation. No one is safe.
Episode 34. A really dark turn for Turgut.
He finally breaks. Torture, poison. Ustad Azim brainwashes him.
Makes him believe he's Judas. The ultimate betrayal.
And that chilling scene where he sees Titus, almost attacks, then submits, calls Titus brother, calls himself Judas.
Heartbreaking. Just completely lost.
But there's that small moment between Ertugrul and Halim. She promises to wait.
A tiny light in the darkness. Dundar's still in a coma.
Turgut's transformation is one of the most tragic arcs, isn't it?
Absolutely devastating. Episode 35. Eftalia's End.
The Kais are closing in on her. She escapes during a fight.
But she's trapped, right? Can't betray either side, can't run forever.
So she burns herself alive. A desperate, tragic act.
Shows the impossible situations people get forced into in this world.
Yeah, no easy answers for characters like her.
Episode 38, Wedding Drama and More Twists.
Nasir trying to turn Turkmen Beys against the Kai. Still scheming.
But Ertugrul exposes him. Gundodu, Doan, Bamzi capture him. Finally.
And Halima refuses Al-Aziz at the altar. Stands up for herself. For Ertugrul, powerful moment.
Amazing. Suleiman Shah sends Rahman to watch the Templar castle, keeping tabs.
Kurtulu sees Kurkut as a Templar. You know his mind is working.
Oh yeah, and then the twist. If Talia faked her death, she's meeting Titus.
What? Okay, that changes things again. Was her suicide attempt fake too? Or did she survive somehow? So many questions.
Right. Unbelievable. Episode 39, Return and Burdens.
Ertugrul and Gundodu bring Nasir back, learn Dundar's still comatose.
Ertugrul reveals Titus's true identity. Heimdall tells Gundodu Selchan lost the baby.
And Selchan blames Ikes, lies again, causing that awful fight.
Just turmoil.
Ah.
Then Claudius, the new Templar knight, attacks Suleiman Shah's Alps, kills one, wounds Rahman.
The captured Alp doesn't recognize Turgut, though. Shows how far gone he seems. Kurtulu is back, too.
And then Suleiman Shah asks Ertugrul to marry Goch if they survive.
Knowing Ertugrul loves Halime, but prioritizing the tribe, what a weight to put on him.
Puts Ertugrul in an impossible position. And he confronts Kurtulu, says, I know you're a traitor, I just can't prove it.
Wow. Direct challenge. Raises the stakes between them even higher.
Episode 40. Traps and betrayals galore.
Al-Aziz, on Titus's advice, uses Halime as bait in a hunting lodge. Lures Ertugrul.
Classic trap. Back at the camp, Kurtulu and his guys blame Suleiman Shah for everything at the council.
But Deli Demir defends them, loyal to the end.
Al-Aziz's commander demands Ertugrul and Shabaddin threatens war. Suleiman Shah refuses.
Then Gundodu shows up with Nasir, forces the commander to back down. Great timing.
But then, Afshin Bey strangles Shahzada Numan, kills him.
What? Afshin, why? That's a shocking betrayal. Completely unexpected.
Makes no sense based on what we knew. Ertugrul gets to the lodge, gets ambushed by archers. Halim and Al-Aziz are gone.
Just devastation, piled on devastation. Afshin's betrayal is a huge shock.
Episode 41.
A surprising turn.
Ertugrul escapes the ambush, finds Doan and Bamzi.
And they end up saving Al-Aziz from an assassination attempt.
Which finally opens Al-Aziz's eyes. He sees Titus and Nasir manipulated him.
About time. So he recalls his armies, sends an apology to Suleiman Shah.
A major shift. Potential new alliance forming out of that chaos.
Episode 43. Some measure of justice.
Ertugrul, Doan, Bamzi return with Halime. Relief. Al-Aziz's commander apologizes to Suleiman Shah. Clears Shahbet Nadabey's name. Reinstates him.
Good. And Ertugrul executes Nasir. Finally.
Brings an end to his treachery. A moment of resolution, at least.
It feels like tying up loose ends from the Aleppo storyline.
But peace is fleeting. Episode 44.
Titus strikes again. Brutally.
Beheads Shahabit and Atabey. Right in Al-Aziz's palace. Horrific.
Just pure vengeance. Shows he won't stop.
Ertug visits Dindar. Still in a coma. And Gundodu lays into him.
Still bitter. Influenced by Kurtulu. Venting about Gökçe and Halime. The family rift is still raw. Yeah, the internal conflict hasn't healed at all. External threats and internal division. Constant pressure.
Episode 46. The attempt to rescue Turgut.
They capture Cardinal Tomas to exchange for him. Ertuğrul Doğan, Bamzi, Akşin Bey.
Titus brings Turgut. But during the exchange, Turgut attacks Ertuğrul.
Still poisoned, thinking he's Judas. Stabs Ertuğrul multiple times, pretends to be dead.
Devastating. Then Doğan, Bamzi, Akşin arrive, and Turgut attacks them. Wounds Bamzi.
Bamzi confronts him. The pain in that moment.
Templars and Gundodu's warriors arrive. Chaos. Turgut retreats with Titus.
And Gundodu finds Ertuğrul bleeding out. His own brother, attacked by their brother. Unimaginable.
Just the absolute worst kind of betrayal. Shows how deep the brainwashing goes.
Utterly heartbreaking.
Episode 47. News from the Seljuk capital, Konya.
Messenger arrives. Sultan Aladdin formed an alliance with the Ayyubids.
And credits Ertuğrul and Süleyman Shah. Offers Halime and Yet a place in the palace. Maybe even marriage for Halime to a prince.
But Halime wants to stay with the tribe. With Ertuğrul, her loyalty is clear.
Good for her. But then Gundodu returns with the gravely wounded Ertuğrul.
Ike is desperately asking about Turgut. The pain.
Abdurrahman reports all the injuries. Doğan, Bamzi, Afshin, Ertuğrul. Hami faints from the shock.
And Bamzi, furious, forbids anyone even saying Turgut's name, reveals the betrayal.
Ikes just can't believe it. Deli Demir tries to comfort her. Hami vows revenge on Turgut.
While Ertuğrul, unconscious, just murmurs Halime's name.
Yeah.
So poignant.
Shows where his heart is, even then. Deeply emotional episode.
Juxtaposing political success with devastating personal loss. Masterful storytelling.
Episode 49. More darkness and a sudden awakening.
Isidora sneaks into the Kai camp to see Ikes. Risky.
Gundodu tries to trap Kurtulu while escorting a caravan, but Selçuk accidentally warns him. Kurtulu remains unsuspected.
Frustrating. Meanwhile, Ertuğrul and Dundar are still unconscious.
Then Bertruccio finds out Isidora left, confronts Giovanni Omer, learns Isidora knows everything.
And kills him. Hangs Mario too. Ruthless, trying to cover his tracks.
Alpargu, on Kurtulu's orders, tries to kill Ertuğrul in his sleep.
But Ertuğrul wakes up, fights back.
Gökçe tries to help, gets stabbed. Collapses in Ertuğrul's arms just as Halim walks in. Horrifying timing.
Oh my god, what a scene. And elsewhere, Titus and Turgut ambush Gundodu's caravan.
Turgut gets defeated by Gundodu, though. Süleyman Shah and Haim hear about the assassination attempt on Ertuğrul.
And Selçuk finds out Haim's looking for a new wife for Gundodu from Korkut Bey's tribe, adds another layer of drama for her.
Just relentless action and betrayal.
That whole sequence with Ertuğrul waking up, Gökçe getting stabbed, Halim entering, just peak drama.
Episode 50. Suspicions finally start to solidify.
Ertuğrul questions the dying Alpargu, but he stays loyal to Kurtulu, doesn't spill.
So Ertuğrul tells Süleyman Shah, flat out, I think Kurtulu is the traitor. Cites Halimi's suspicions, Alpargu's loyalty to him.
Süleyman Shah mentions Gundodu's failed trap. They're both seeing the pattern now.
Selçuk blames Ertuğrul for Gökçe's injury, but Süleyman Shah defends him.
Gundodu stops his men from killing Turgut. Says it's Ertuğrul's call. Showing some restraint, maybe.
Isidore tells them she can help destroy the Templar castle, but can't ID the traitor for sure.
Selçuk learns Gökçe will survive, but can't have children. Tragic news.
Isidore gives them castle maps. Huge intel.
Ertuğrul suggests confronting Kurtulu with Isidore. Leads to that tense meeting. Kurtulu's forced into the tent.
The net seems to be closing in.
Finally feels like they might be getting somewhere with Kurtulu.
Episode 51. The confrontation, but it backfires slightly.
Isidore doesn't recognize Kurtulu. Relief for him. Frustration for Ertuğrul.
Though Kurtulu looks nervous, Ertuğrul warns Isidore about the danger.
Isidore tells Ikes about Turgut's torture, how he only remembered her name. So sad, but shows his core feelings are still there.
At the Bayes meeting, Ertuğrul goes for it, boldly accuses Kurtulu, demands his suspension.
Süleyman Shah backs him up, reveals his own suspicions the assassination attempt, poisoning Gundodu with words.
Kurtulu acts outraged, offers his dagger, but then Gundodu.
Influenced by Selçuk again, defends Kurtulu, blames Turgut instead, creates this huge division.
Unbelievable. Undermines everything. Ertuğrul protects Turgut, puts him in the cage tent for safety.
So divisive. Shows how deep Kurtulu's manipulation runs, especially with Gundodu via Sulchan.
Episode 53, Election Time,
Suleiman Shah calls for an election for the next bay.
which Kurtulu immediately sees as his chance, pressures Gundodu to run.
Ikes visits Turgut. He has that moment of clarity, begs her to tie him up so he won't hurt her.
But Kurtulu doses him again, secretly, crushes that glimmer of hope.
Hamey asks Ertug to be a candidate.
But he refuses. Says he'll only step in if the election isn't fair. Noble stance.
Pleases his parents, shows his integrity.
Sets the stage for a very tense election.
Kurtulu thinks he has it all figured out, using Gundodu.
Episode 54, the election itself.
Tribe gathers. Suleiman Shah steps down temporarily. Deli Demir calls for candidates. Kurtulu pushes Gundodu.
But Gundodu declares he's not a candidate, shocking everyone, especially Kurtulu.
Huge relief for Ertug and Suleiman Shah. Flashback shows Suleiman Shah warned Gundodu about Kurtulu, told him to withdraw. Smart play.
A completely flustered Kurtulu is forced to declare himself a candidate. His plan is ruined.
Outmaneuvered by Suleiman Shah. Love it. Kurtulu exposed his own ambition.
Episode 55, the vote and more treachery.
Almost all Bays vote for Suleiman Shah. Even Kurtulu's guys eventually fall in line. Suleiman Shah remains Bay.
Kurtulu is furious at Gundodu. Sulchan rips into Gundodu too.
He snaps, slaps her, tells Haim to find him a new wife. Their relationship is shattered.
Gochi tells Suleiman Shah she wants Ertug to be happy with Halim. She's moved on. Very mature, very moving.
Turgut briefly remembers Bamzi. Joy for Dawn and Bamzi. Little steps.
Suleiman Shah gives his blessing for Ertug and Halim's marriage. Finally.
A real moment of happiness. But Kurtulu.
He lies to Yeet, says Afshin killed his father, then gets Petrucha to capture Yeet. Pure evil.
And poisons Gundodu's water. Gundodu drinks it, collapses.
Ertug and Halim hear the news right after getting the marriage blessing. Devastating timing. They suspect poison.
And Haim nearly gives the poison water to Sulchan. Oh, the tension.
Unbearable. Kurtulu is just sowing chaos everywhere.
He's truly ruthless when cornered.
Episode 56. Close calls and gathering proof.
Relim stops Sulchan drinking the water just in time. They test it on a goat. It confirms poison.
Hamza saw Kurtulu's man near the tent. Ertug tells Doan and Bamzi to find him secretly, fearing Kurtulu.
Halima searches for Yeet. Tells Ikes about her upcoming marriage.
Deli Demir speaks gently to Turgut. More memories seem to surface.
Titus gives Kurtulu more potion, keeping Turgut under control.
Ertug confronts Kurtulu. Suleiman Shah has Gunkut follow Kurtulu. They're closing in.
Ertug and Halim find evidence Yit was taken by Templars.
Doan and Bamzi get ambushed tracking Kurtulu's man. The man is killed by Templars.
Who also dies, so they can't reveal Kurtulu's connection. Convenient for Kurtulu.
Too convenient. Shows how deep his ties to the Templars run.
The evidence is circumstantial, but mounting fast.
Episode 57, Conversion and a Coup Plot.
Kurtulu doses Turgut again. Ertug plans Yeet's rescue. Doan and Bamzi report the dead end with Kurtulu's man.
Hamey gives Halimi that beautiful necklace, welcomes her as a daughter. Lovely moment.
Suleiman Shah tells Ertug and Halimi he wants their sons named after heroes, blesses their future family.
He tells Deli Demir he's giving Kurtulu's duties to Ertug, making it official.
Ertug gets Yeet's necklace via pigeon. Message from Isadora.
Says Yeet is in the dungeon, knows the traitor. Plan is to get him to Constantinople.
Wow. Huge news. Meanwhile, Claudius, the knight saved by Ibn al-Arabi,
Converts to Islam. Takes the name Omer. A potential powerful ally emerges.
Suleiman Shah confirms Ertug takes Kurtulu's duties. Kurtulu knows his time is up.
So he plots with loyal Bays. Sees Suleiman Shah and Haim before he's removed. While Ertug's away, Gundodu's weak. Seize power.
His endgame, become Bay through force. Utter desperation.
High stakes converging from all directions.
Personal joy, political maneuvering, imminent danger. Classic Ertug mix.
Episode 58. The coup happens. It's brutal.
Halima tells Ertug to kill Yeet if rescue fails. Heavy stuff. Haim encourages Ertug to embrace his destiny as Bay.
Kurtulu's Alps take out Gunkut. Ertug leaves for the rescue mission.
And immediately Halima is arrested. Kurtulu makes his move.
His Alps seize Suleiman Shah and Haime, force him to give up power.
Ites, Deli Demir arrested. Sulchan, Goche arrested, while with Gundodu.
Gundodu tries to resist, but he's still weak from the poison.
Kurtulu confronts Suleiman Shah, blames him for everything. Riots break out. Chaos.
Suleiman Shah and Haman taken away. Gundodu confronts Kurtulu, gets called a coward. Fight breaks out.
Suleiman Shah stops the bloodshed, agrees to a meeting. But Gundodu gets arrested anyway.
Suleiman Shah warns Kurdulu not to harm his sons.
Then all the beys except Suleiman Shah kiss Kurdulu's hand, legitimize his coup. Terrible.
Suleiman Shah and Haim imprisoned with Turgut. Meanwhile, Ertugrul, Doğan, Bamsi fall into a trap.
Petruccio arrives, demands surrender. Fight ensues. Ertugrul and the Alps escape, but the women are captured.
It's just absolute chaos. Kurdulu takes over. Ertugrul is ambushed, his family imprisoned or captured. Darkest hour.
A stunningly fast and brutal takeover changes everything.
Episode 59. Captivity and Control.
While Demir is thrown in prison with Suleiman Shah, Haim, and Turgut.
Haim is taken to join the other women. Suleiman Shah asks about his sons.
Turgut and Selçuk brought before Kurdulu. Selçuk refuses loyalty. Brave!
Kurdulu dismisses his guards, declares Turgut as Alp Judas, gives him more potion, solidifying control.
At the Beys meeting, some accuse Kurdulu. He kills one on the spot. Ruthless intimidation.
Silencing dissent immediately. Shows his true colors.
He's consolidating power through sheer terror now.
Episode 60. More treachery, but a spark of rescue.
Kurdulu justifies the killing. Suleiman Shah brought to the meeting in chains. Humiliating.
The Beys decide exile for Suleiman Shah and his family. Under Kurdulu's thumb, Gundodu joins them in captivity. Haim told they're being exiled to Korkut Bey's tribe.
After the meeting, Kurdulu tells Kutlu Bey and Karbaduk Bey to kill Suleiman Shah during the exile and kill Ertugrul later. Total annihilation planned.
Ertugrul, Doğan, Bamsi realize Isidora must have been exposed.
Petruccio captures them, tortures Ertugrul for the chess location, threatens Turgut will kill his family during exile. Psychological warfare.
Ibn al-Arabi tells Omer someone needs his help, sensing the danger.
Selçuk fears Turgut will kill them. Vaikiz holds on to hope.
Then Omer saves Ertugrul from the Templar escort. Says he has news from Ibn al-Arabi. Hope arrives.
Just in the nick of time, Omer's intervention is crucial.
Episode 61. Reconciliation and despair? Or is it?
Selçuk apologizes to Aikiz and Halimi. They reconcile. A genuine moment.
Suleiman Shah, Gundodu, Wild Demir try to escape, but Turgut stops them. Tense standoff. Recaptured. Seems hopeless.
Kurdulu dreams Ertugrul kills him, shows his fear. Kutlu and Karabatuk start doubting Kurdulu.
Kurdulu orders Turgut to kill Suleiman last, gives him more potion, but we don't see if he takes it.
Forces Halimi and Dundar on a stretcher to go with the exiles. Tries to pressure Halime for the chest location.
Then Turgut goes to Kurdulu's tent. Says they are all dead.
Chilling. Is it true, or is Turgut playing a deeper game? Cliffhanger.
Leaves you completely guessing. Did he do it or not?
Masterful suspense building.
Episode 62. The truth revealed. Loyalty wins.
Kurdulu tells Halime Turgut will guard her until she gives up the chest. Turgut threatens her. Kurdulu leaves.
Turgut orders the other Alps away. Kneels. Puts the dagger to her throat. Then sheathes it. Salutes.
Ertugrul sends greetings. They will be saved. Yes.
Amazing reveal. Flashback shows Turgut saved them all, faked their deaths, with Ertugrul, Doğan, Bamsi's help.
Brilliant plan. Ertugrul and Turgut reunite. So emotional. Turgut collapses, wants to guard Halime first.
Kulu Bey attacks Ertugrul, but Suleiman Shah, Wild Demir, Gundodu kill him. They're all alive and fighting back.
What a turnaround. The relief is immense. Turgut's loyalty held firm.
Incredible resilience from Turgut.
Shows the strength of those bonds. Couldn't be broken completely.
Episode 63. Fallout and final confrontations brewing.
Titus finds out the family was saved. Petruccio imprisons Isidora. Omer returns.
Petruccio, wondering why the potion failed, tasks the dying Turgut with bringing Ertugrul's head. Desperate.
Ertugrul plans to use Turgut's testimony against Kurdulu. Omer tells Cardinal Thomas he's infiltrating, but secretly vows revenge, playing both sides.
Titus messages Kurdulu demanding Turgut and Halime, revealing their role in the escape. Petruccio has Isidora killed in the dungeon. Tragic.
No, poor Isidora, such a brutal end.
Kurdulu ambushes Turgut and Halime, captures Halim, knocks Turgut out.
But just then, Ertugrul walks into Kurdulu's tent, confronts him, exposes the Templar alliance as the Beys arrive. Showdown time.
Perfect timing. Kurdulu's reign is about to end.
The final act of the coup plot begins.
Episode 64. The tide turns completely.
Templars move to take Turgut and Halim. Turgut wakes up.
Doğan and Bamsi attack the archers. Turgut frees himself, grabs a sword, fights. Halim holds a sword too.
Yes, the three Alps embrace. Reunited in battle. Fantastic moment.
Inside, Ertugrul exposes Kurdulu. Kurdulu demands witnesses.
Ertugrul says Turgut Alt is my witness. Accuses Kurdulu of killing the escort Alps.
Kurdulu orders Ertugrul captured. Ertugrul fights back. Turgut bursts in, kills an Alp.
Ertugrul defeats Kurdulu and Karbaduk. Kills Karbaduk. sword at Kurdulu's throat, tells Turgut to bring Suleiman Shah.
Suleiman Shah returns, refuses mercy for Kurdulu. It's over for him.
Back at the castle, Petruccio hears Kurdulu lost, gets sick. Isidora's poisoned dagger, revenge from beyond the grave.
Cardinal Amos tells Omer Petruccio's dying. Titus is next Ustad. Orders Omer to meet Titus.
Dündar wakes up. Turgut and Ikes reunite, plan marriage. But Turgut has a seizure, asks Ikes to kill him if he harms her. Still struggling.
Suleiman Shah gives Ertugrul Kurdulu's duties, summons Kurdulu for judgment.
Justice is finally coming, and Dündar waking up. So much happening.
Episode 65. Justice, Reconciliation, and Confession.
Kurdulu brought before Suleiman Shah, refuses to kneel, pleads his past service. Gundodu demands death.
Suleiman Shah sentences him to death, but gives the sword to Ertugrul, keeps his vow not to kill his blood brother directly.
Ertugrul beheads Kurdulu. Justice served. Finally.
The family has dinner. Unity restored, joking with Dündar. Suleiman Shah suggests Ertugrul and Halime marry soon. Hope returns.
While Demir wants Turgut and Ikes married before he dies. Simple ceremony. Turgut and Ikes wanted to ask anyway.
But Turgut has another seizure. Ibn al-Arabi explains its withdrawal from the poison. Needs patience.
Dolan, Bamsi, Ertugrul worried for him. Gundodo tells Selkin they should marry Gökçe soon. Selkin agrees.
While Demir asks Suleiman Shah's blessing for Turgut-Ikes' marriage. Granted, once Turgut recovers.
Selkin seeks out Ibn al-Arabi. Wants to repent. He advises seeking forgiveness from those she hurt.
Suleiman Shah suggests Turgut and Ikes marry first. Ertugrul agrees.
Then Selkin confesses. Everything. In front of everyone. Aborting the child, blaming Ikes, the Gökçe plot, working with Kurdulu. Demands punishment. Credits Ibn al-Arabi.
Wow. That takes incredible courage. A huge moment for her and the tribe.
A massive step towards potential healing. But the consequences.
Episode 66. Consequences and new threats emerge.
Gundodu leaves after the confession. Confronts Selkin in their tent. Furious! Divorces her.
Selkin begs him to kill her. He refuses. Tells her to go to hell. Heartbreaking scene.
Turgut wakes up. Finally! Ikes and Wildemir are overjoyed.
Selkin tells Gundodu she'll leave. He says she's alive only because of Ibn al-Arabi. Gökçe tells Selkin she killed the human inside her. Ouch.
Omer tells Ertugrul he couldn't free. Yeet, Isidore is dead. Titus is the new Ustad and planning an attack. Grim news.
Suleiman Shah and Haim discuss Selkin. Still suspicious, fearing she's a traitor, maybe caused under Turgut's suffering.
Petruccio dying. Cardinal Thomas pushes Titus for Ustad, orders Omer to meet Titus secretly.
Ibn al-Arabi takes the chest back from Ertugrul. Why now? What does it mean?
Lots of unresolved tension. Selkin's future, Titus's threat, the chest.
Episode 67. A moment of pure joy. The wedding.
Ertugrul training with the Alps. Turgut wrestling Don and Bamsi. Joyful, fighting together again, joking about the wedding.
While Demir and Afshin find Isidore's passages closed, Templars know.
Bamsi and Doan helping Turgut dress for the wedding, teasing each other. Great camaraderie.
Women helping Ikes prepare. Community spirit.
Ikes and Turgut get married. Beautiful ceremony. Blessings from everyone. Ertugrul, Suleiman Shah looking on. A genuinely happy moment, so needed after everything they've been through. Real celebration of survival and love.
Episode 68. The calm before the storm. Siege begins.
Turgut's first dinner with Ikes, some lighthearted newlywed joking, sweet.
But then, the Kai besiege the Templar castle, taking the fight to them.
Titus realizes they must have a traitor. Tell Domer, Claudius.
Titus refuses surrender. Both sides prepare for battle. The final confrontation is coming.
The siege marks the next major phase of the conflict.
Episode 69. The spy game intensifies. Tragic loss.
While Demir trying to open the tunnel, Titus tells Cardinal Thomas about the spy. Thomas admits they used spies too, who turned.
Titus vows to find the spy. Omer overhears. Demir needs more men. Will make noise. Ertugrul suggests finding the second tunnel.
Omer kills the pigeon keeper, sends a letter to Ertugrul, gets rid of the pigeons, cuts off Templar communication.
Titus finds the bodies, the bloody dagger, realizes spy is wounded, orders inspections.
Finds pigeons gone, can't send for help, mentions the second tunnel, only known to him and Petruccio.
Omer signals Ertugrul. Titus sees it. Suspicious.
Confronts the wounded Omer, accuses him, they fight. Titus kills Omer.
But Omer recites the Shahada first. Dies a martyr. So sad.
Ertugrul intercepts Titus's letter. Titus tells Thomas about Omer. Cardinal is furious.
Titus thinks Isidora revealed Tunnel 1, but Tunnel 2 is safe. Thomas isn't sure.
Ertugrul confronts Titus, who brings out Omer's body. A gut punch.
Omer's sacrifice is huge. A devastating loss for Ertugrul.
Shows the true cost of this war.
Episode 70. Rescue and retribution inside the castle.
Ertugrul vows revenge on Titus for Omer. They mourn him.
Wildemir breaks through Tunnel 1, but it's blocked. Gundodu arrives with reinforcements.
Cardinal Tomas and Yit emerge from Tunnel 2. Ambushed by Gundodu and Hamza. Yit rescued. Cardinal captured. Yit reveals Tunnel 2 location.
Amazing turn of events. Kai bury Omer. Gundodu arrives with Yit the Cardinal. You get angry at Afshin.
Ertugrul embraces Gundodu, acknowledges Omer's sacrifice, leads Alps through Tunnel 2, rescues prisoners.
Titus learns Kai are inside via Tunnel 2. Regrets sending the Cardinal that way.
Ertugrul and Alps fight in the training field. Wildemir wounded. Ertugrul kills the archer. Titus hides. Wildemir and Bamzi open the main gate.
Suleiman Shah, Gundodu the Kai army pour in. Ertugrul raises the Kai flag. Victory.
They reach the Ustad's locked room. Turgut and Bamzi break down the door. It's the endgame inside the castle.
Thrilling. The siege is won.
A massive, hard-fought victory for the Kai.
Episode 71. Justice in the castle, but one escapes.
Alps defeat the last knights, capture the Ustads. They beg for mercy.
Hypocrites. Gundodu compares Turgut to Kurdolu. Ertugrul points out the Ustad's hypocrisy. Suleiman Shah orders them take it away.
Turgut confronts the sick Petruccio, disarms him, drags him out. Alps reveal Thomas poisoned Petruccio.
Turgut ties Petruccio to the wheel, gets permission, beheads him. Retribution.
Suleiman Shah orders Ertugrul and Hamza kill the other Ustads. Justice served.
Ertugrul asks about Titus. Doan says he vanished. Ertugrul knows he's hiding.
Yet returns to the tribe with good news. Selkin finds out she's pregnant. Fears disbelief.
Hamie advises Halim about marriage. Titus, disguised, kills the guards at the secret passage, escapes.
Turgut tells Ertugrul they find the open gate, dead Alps. Gundodu says catching Titus will be hard.
So close to getting them all. But Titus, the main antagonist now, gets away. Sets up future conflict.
Always one step ahead, or just lucky, a persistent threat.
Episode 73. Weddings, joy, and sudden tragedy.
Suleiman Shah urges Gundodu to decide about Selkan. Suggests giving her another chance. Gundodu is torn.
Turgut, Doam, Bamzi give Ertugrul wedding gifts. Great banter. Joyful camaraderie.
Haliman and Ertugrul prepare. Yet gives blessings. They marry. Beautiful ceremony, family blessings, happiness.
Gundodu goes to Selkin's tent, finds her gone, thinks she wasn't forgiven, searches frantically.
Titus ambushes near the border, shoots at Gundodu.
Selkin jumps in front, takes the arrow, asks for forgiveness as she falls.
Oh my god, what a sacrifice. Gundodu cries out, Titus flees, Hamza arrives, Gundodu takes Selkan to the healers, says she saved him.
Haman tells Suleiman Shah Titus is mad with revenge. Halime warns Ertugrul Titus will target women now. Ertugrul vows punishment.
From wedding joy to devastating attack in moments, Selkin's redemption arc takes a tragic, heroic turn. Titus is pure evil now.
A truly shocking end to the episode.
Leaves you reeling.
Episode 74. Alliance meeting and succession.
Suleiman Shah, sons Alps travel to a caravansary. Meeting about Mongol threat? Need allies.
Ertugrul tells Gundodu he believes they'll reconcile with Selkan. Promises to give him Titus.
Titus is at the caravansary too, preparing to attack.
Bamzi teases Doan about Banu Sicek. Turgut stops them messing around too much.
Bamzi and Turgut try to ask about Banu Sicek for Doan. He gets mad. Funny moment.
Then, the big one. Suleiman Shah tells Ertugrul he will inherit everything. Names him his heir.
While passing the torch officially, huge moment for Ertugrul.
Turgut and Bamzi find out Banu Sicek like someone else. Bad news for Doan.
Afshin Bey takes Ertugrul to a secret meeting. More plots unfolding.
Setting up the final confrontations and the future leadership.
Lots of moving pieces as the season nears its end.
Episode 75. Vengeance, finally, but at a cost.
Doan, Bamzi, Turgut confirm Titus is there. They attack.
Ertugrul confronts Titus. The final showdown. Ertugrul wins. Defeats him.
Doan, Bamzi, Turgut, Akshin, Gundodu kill the remaining knights.
Ertugrul gives Titus to Gundodu. Gundodu beheads him. Justice for Selchan, for everyone. Titus is gone.
Finally, a major victory. The end of a long and painful arc.
But on the ride back, Suleiman Shah's boil worsens. He collapses crossing the water. Critical.
Oh no, just as they get their revenge, their leader falls. Tragic timing.
Victory overshadowed immediately.
The highest high followed by the lowest low.
Episode 76. The end of an era, truly.
Gundodu and Ertugrul pull Suleiman Shah to safety. His final moments.
Gives his last instructions. Entrusts the tribe to them. Urges unity, obedience to the Seljuks.
Recites the Shahada. Dies peacefully. Ertugrul and Gundodu grieve. Heartbreaking.
Doan, Bamzi, Turgut arrive. Mourn their bey. Hold a small funeral.
Return to the tribe. Tell Haim the whole tribe mourns, a profound loss.
Ertug comforts Dundar. Tells Halim his father died in peace, spoke of going to Anatolia. Halim pledges support.
Selkin suggests naming their child Suleiman. Kungdodu agrees. A tribute.
Wild Demir suggests visiting the grave before winter.
Bey's meeting. Haim acts as Bey. They decide. Migrate to Anatolia. Fulfill Suleiman Shah's wish.
The tribe begins the migration, the end of the season, the end of an era. Wow.
A powerful emotional ending. Loss, grief, but also determination to follow his vision sets up everything for season 2.
What a journey, those 76 episodes. From rescues to betrayals to this huge loss and a new beginning.
It lays such a strong foundation. You really understand the characters, the conflicts, the stakes now.
Hopefully this gave everyone a solid grasp. You see the key players, the big turning points.
And thinking about Suleiman Shah's last words, that migration to Anatolia is huge, right? What does it mean for them? How will those relationships forged and broken shape their future?
Exactly. This was designed to give you the essentials without being overwhelming. Hope it sparked some aha moments.
If you're new, it's a great starting point. If you're revisiting, maybe you caught some details you missed.
So what stood out most to you, the learner? Any lingering questions about this massive first season?
Definitely encourage you to dive back into specific episodes if something caught your eye. There's always more to find.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Ertug Season 1. Hope you found it insightful, maybe even a little bit fun, despite the drama.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Until our next exploration, keep that curious mind sharp